Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Facebook. It is January 28th. I'm just adjusting my iPad here. Perfect. 28th, it is early in the morning, about 6:30. I'm in the restaurant doing a little work, going out for my run here as soon as the sun comes up, as soon as it's light out, I'm going out for my run. It is Thursday the 28th. I want to talk a little bit about the difference between brandy, cognac. Cognac is brandy. Armagnac is a type of brandy versus whiskey. That question came up on our last trip to the Finger Lakes, our last group trip to the Finger Lakes. By the way, our next group trip to the Finger Lakes is March 19th through the 21st. That is, we meet in Watkins Glen and we do the wines of Cognac Lake. And it's a whole weekend excursion starting Friday night, ending Sunday afternoon. It's $800 a person. We just launched it. It's not even published on our website, and we're already halfway sold out. Our Finger Lake trips are becoming very popular because we can't get to Italy right now. If you don't know, we do these amazing wine dream excursions through Italy. That's a nine-day adventure that we take you to our friends' wineries throughout all of Italy. Jamie and I have formed some amazing relationships in the last 18 years we've been in business, and we personally know a lot of the owners of these vineyards and have relationships with them, and serve their wine here at the restaurant. So we basically take you to their wineries, these small wineries in these small towns. It's the real Italy that we're taking you to the culture, to the people, to the small businesses, small families, and it's just an amazing tour. And once COVID allows us to travel again, we will resume. We have a trip tentatively set for this November. Those trips run around $5,000 a person. Those are a great deal. And of course, these are VIP, red carpet winery tours throughout Italy, very wine intensive trips because we like wine. A lot of other people like wine too, but you don't need to know about wine to travel with us, whether it's to the Finger Lakes or to Italy. You just have to want to drink wine. A lot of people discover that they will like wines they've never tried before, or like wines that they really haven't liked in the past before. Because when you're sitting down and somebody can explain to you the differences in Brunellos, different types of Brunellos, different vineyards, different aging processes, and you taste 4 or 5 Brunellos, you might say, wow, gee, there is a Brunello that I do like, or I actually do like Brunellos if I'm eating the right food. Or what's not to like about Brunello here sitting in Montalcino on a vineyard, an Italian vineyard overlooking the valleys and mountains of Tuscany. So that's November, but March 19th through the 21st is the Finger Lakes, wines of Cognac Lake. And of course, we're going to throw in a distillery in there as well. So one of the questions on our last trip was, what's the difference between brandy and whiskey? So first of all, brandy is what makes cognac, and brandy is what makes Armagnac. Those are classified as brandies, just like bourbon is classified as a whiskey. Single malt Scotch is classified as a whiskey. So, if you're tuning in this morning, good morning, everybody who's tuning in. Just drop a comment, #live if you're tuning in on the live. It is quite early. It's just about 6:40 a.m. I see Sean on. Sean, you dropped a replay. You're actually watching live, Sean. I am on early in the morning. So, all right. So, the main difference between whiskey and brandy. So, in the United States, before we made whiskey, we made brandy. Brandy was the very first spirit before whiskey that we were making in the U.S. Brandy is what is made in cognac and made in Armagnac. Of course, brandy is a very popular, cognac is a very popular imported item from Cognac, France. It can only come from Cognac, France. But the family is brandies. You can make brandies anywhere. You can make brandies in the U.S., you can make brandies in Spain, Portugal, Italy, as long as you're doing this one thing to make brandy versus whiskey. Now, when you look at brandy, this is cognac, but brandy, let's for argument's sake, it's brandy. And you look at whiskey, there's a whiskey, let's see. All right, so the color is, right, the color's the same. Well, in different shades, but they're brown spirits that are aged in oak barrels to gain that color. Here is a single malt. This is Deanston. All right, and there's a color on that. And there's an American bourbon. So they're brown. They're brown spirits. Let's call them brown spirits. So Brandies are made from wine. This is actually a wine product. So what they do is they take Ungui Blanc, the grape, and there's a couple other grapes too that they use. They make wine first, and then they distill the wine, and then from there, they make brandy. When you're dealing with whiskey, they start with grains. No wine, they start with grains, and they make a mash with grains. And if you ever heard the term mash bill, the mash bill is a percentage breakdown of the cereal grains they're using. Sometimes they use 100% of a grain. Sometimes they use mixed cereal grains. And sometimes, or a lot of times when they use barley, they're malting it, which means they germinate it quickly for a day or so, 2 days, under a controlled temperature, and then they kiln fire it and kill off the germination. So if you hear of malted barley, they're using malted barley, but basically cereal grains go into whiskeys and bourbons. Bourbon being more corn dominant. Of course, you have rye whiskeys, and then single malts. These are, when you talk about single malts, that word malt there, malt is referring to the barley malt in there. So you can have blended malts, you can have single malts. I'm not going to get into any of that right now, but I just wanted to say the main difference between brandy and the cameras. I reversed the angles on the camera here, so I don't know. I forget what side's shooting. I reversed the angles of the camera so you could actually read the labels. Else you wouldn't read the labels; it'll be backwards. So this is Mackenzie. This is from upstate in the Finger Lakes, Finger Lake Distilling. This is Celt Cognac from Cognac, France. So that's the main difference. So when you start making brandies, you have to be a vineyard first. You're first a vineyard, winery, and then the distillery. So it's this whole extra step in this. You're literally making wine first. You're not aging it out to its full term, but you're making a wine. You're making wine, and then you're distilling it. So in America, pre-bourbon, we were making brandies. We were planting grapevines, and we were making wine and then distilling the wine out. And then came agriculture, or farming corn and grains, and then that took over. There is a type of a product that is made from distilled out wine with added grape juice, and I'll talk about that in one of my next videos. Because a lot of people then ask me, well, what's the difference between Armagnac and Cognac? And that's a good question. I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm going to keep this short and simple with that explanation today, but that's the difference. One's a wine distilled out, and one is grain cereals that are distilled out, make a mash. If you look at beer and spirits, whiskey, if you look at beer and whiskey, in the very first step when you start making the mash, you can go either way with whiskey or beer. The whole first step is basically the same. Take grains, cook them up, start fermenting them, and then you go into either beer or into a spirit, into a whiskey. So that's interesting. You can also take beer and distill it into a whiskey, as the one distillery does in Westchester County. I think they're called Still the One, who used to make the comb vodkas and comb gin out of honey. They actually will take beer from Captain Lawrence and distill the Freshchester into whiskey. And Anchor Distilling did that a while back. They took beer and made it into a whiskey. And what happens with this is, depending on the hop content of the beer, so the hops will come through into the whiskey. Not predominant, but you can definitely know that there are hops there, knowing what you're drinking. So that's just interesting. All right. Super Bowl. If you are having anybody over to your house for Super Bowl, or if you're going anywhere, we have these amazing party packs. They're $169. I think they're like a $225 value if you add everything up together. But it's an amazing package. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. I think we have it on our website. And we're only going to do like 36 of these. That's it. I've ordered. We might be catering a party for Super Bowl. We might be dropping a lot of food off, so I don't want to overload our kitchen. But basically, the Super Bowl thing here it's $169. It's a $204 value if you ordered all these separate. Pulled pork sandwiches, so 4 pulled pork sandwiches, half a dozen pretzels with mustard, our imported margaritas, pizza, and our imported broccoli raw pizza, mac and cheese, local sopressata, grass-fed camembert cheese with our fig jam and crackers, hummus and pita, potato salad, organic corn chips, and organic local organic salsa, and a growler of beer. $169, easily feeds 4 to 6 people. There's a lot of food there. $169. It includes beer, and then of course you can add on shrimp cocktail if you want. 4-pack of mixed IPAs, which we always have. And if you like our wings, you can take them home and bake them in your oven and do that. So that's the deal with Super Bowl Sunday. Pick up Super Bowl Sundays up until 6 o'clock. You can pick up your box. Again, we've sold a couple of these already. We're only selling 36 of them. That's it. I've got to cut a cap on these, and I have to order the food. So that's the thing. So like the soprasadas and everything that comes from the farm, I've got to order at least a week in advance. So when we order from the farm hubs, we have to give them plenty of time to pick the food up and get it to us. So some of these farm hubs, some of our delivery systems could take 4 or 5 days to get to us. That's no problem because we love working with local farms. We just have to know that it's not sitting in a warehouse that was packaged and made the week before, 2 weeks before, and sitting there in a warehouse just waiting for them to buy it. It's actually when a lot of these things are produced, they're posted, and then they're shipped out. So that's the cool thing about using the local farm hubs. So between the cheese and the soprasada, and of course we're getting local salsa, that's already comes in a jar, so that's no problem. That's actually ready to go. But we always have to give a few days to get things here. And then of course I always order a couple extra because at the last minute it's hard for me to say no to people who call the last minute and say, oh my gosh, did I miss the cutoff? Well, yes, you did. So, but of course I have a couple extras. So we are asking that those orders come in right away as soon as possible for Super Bowl Sunday. It is, we're still a week and a half out from Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the Buffalo Bills did not make it, but they had a good season. Hopefully next year they'll be back. It was nice to see them in the playoffs and go that far. We're finishing, we have our $9.99 tikka masala here this week. $9.99 with broccoli and rice. Normally, if you order that dish, it would be $21, so it's $9.99 to go. Next week's special is going to be another big one, huge one, gigantic one. So stay tuned for next week's $9.99 special. We've done it before, and it was super, super, super popular. So we're bringing that one back. So our $9.99, we have a weekly $9.99 special, then we have nightly $9.99 specials, or nightly specials. So tonight, Thursday, is our burger special, $9.99, burgers to go, and then our tikka masala for $9.99 to go. And tikka masala, like that's an amazing dish. It's slow braised chicken. So we take chicken, we dry rub it with garam masala, not marsala, masala. Masala is an Indian spice blend, garam masala. So we dry rub it with garam masala. We roast off the chicken, and then we put it into local tomatoes. Goes into local tomatoes, tikka masala paste. So tikka masala is another Indian blend seasoning. Masala, not marsala, masala. And local tomatoes, local canned Jersey tomatoes, tikka masala, and coconut milk. Then it makes it just a little creamy, the coconut milk. It doesn't make it that creamy, just a little creamy. And we blend all those together, and we put it with the chicken, and then we slow cook it for 4 hours at about 165 degrees, 170 degrees. We have this temperature controlled way of cooking called sous vide. If anybody knows sous vide, we use sous vide for that. And what happens is it locks in all the juices. The juices go into the sauce goes into the chicken, and we serve this. Typically we serve it at the restaurant without rice and without broccoli. So if you were to order it with rice and broccoli, you're gonna be at $21. And even maybe a couple dollars more. So we're serving with rice and with broccoli this week. $9.99. It is an amazing, amazing dish. If you like anything that is a little bit full-bodied spice, it's not spicy, hot spicy, but it's full-bodied spice. There's a lot of things going on in there. Like there's probably 12, 13, 14 different Indian spices in there. Really, really a great dish, amazing dish. So if you like Indian food, if you want to be adventurous, if you haven't tried that, definitely the way to go for $9.99 this week. So check that out. Everybody have an amazing day. It's getting a little lighter out. I'm gonna go out for my run here in a few minutes, and Jamie will be back with her happy hour live later. Hope you loved my explanation of brandies versus whiskey. That is the beginning of this. So if you missed this and you want to check that out, go back to the beginning of this, and I explained the difference between a brandy Brandy / Cognac, which is the same thing, versus a whiskey. The difference in how they're made, it's a very simple difference a lot of people don't understand or don't even think about. But once you start thinking like, well, gee, I want to know what's the difference in a cognac and a whiskey if I'm drinking. So that's it, folks. Have an amazing day and stay warm. It's going to be getting colder. The temperature's dropping, and we'll talk to you later.